So one question I get a lot when talking to people who are trying to repair a relationship is, how long does it take for an ex-partner to come back? There's obviously a lot of timelines out there in terms of how to get an ex back in 30 days, how to get an ex back in 2 weeks, all this sort of stuff. I want to talk about the concept that a lot of people don't talk about when it comes to the timeline for relationship repair. And I want to break down why it's so important to know this so that you can repair your relationship effectively. So I can understand the eagerness of trying to repair a relationship when a breakup has happened and you're really trying to show your partner that things can be different, that you are changing, you're growing, and you're ready to start taking the relationship in the right direction. A lot of people can feel this really intense resistance to their changes and who they're becoming. And this leads a lot of people to get in their heads of, it's been 6 months, it's been 3 months, whatever. Why aren't they coming back right now? So I want to talk to you about a really important concept that I'm calling, because I don't have a better word, I'm calling it the lag. The lag is really important to understand because it has such an impact on the way that the relationship is being repaired. Knowing about this is really important because it stops you from walking away right before the relationship starts to actually be repaired. So the first thing to understand is I talk a lot on this channel about what we call expectancy bias. So expectancy bias is when you have seen a certain amount of evidence to come up with a fairly decent prediction of what will happen in the future. So it's like confirmation bias. But what makes expectancy bias different is that what it can do is it can get you to respond in a way and take actions based on what you expect rather than what is actually happening now. And expectancy bias happens a lot when it comes to breakups and relationships. If you started to change, as you change, your partner is still going to expect and act in ways based on what they expect rather than what you are now. Now, this doesn't happen forever. There is always a lag as you start to repair a relationship, and it's really important to understand the lag. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break this down for you. So the lag is essentially a delayed feedback loop. And this is why so many people fail right just before they're actually starting to succeed. And this is the pivot point when a lot of people walk away from a relationship that is in the middle of being repaired and they just don't realize it. The first thing that I want you to understand is that your breakup is actually an indicator of the lag. So oftentimes what happens is that when a breakup happens, this has happened as a result of the 6 to 12 months before it. So there's been erosion of what we call emotional safety, intellectual intimacy, and goal synergy, which are the 3 core elements of relationships. When a breakup happens, if your partner has broken up with you, it's because they have seen enough evidence to see that those 3 core elements are not only not being built, but they're actually in decay right now. A lot of people don't realize that this is not some spontaneous decision. This is not based on one event that's happened recently. It's usually that event is the straw that broke the camel's back. It's actually based on a lot of evidence beforehand. So the breakup itself is an indicator of the lag. If you were taken by surprise by the breakup, that's because you haven't been aware to the last 6 to 12 months. So this is not a slight on you. This is very common to happen, but it's really important to understand. So that's the first thing I want to explain, is that the breakup itself is an outcome of this lag. So the breakup is rarely spontaneous. It's usually the result of the 6 to 12 months of decay before that. So by the time your partner speaks those words, they have already been grieving or distancing for months. So the result here is that when the breakup happens, your day 1 is oftentimes the day 200 or 300 of your partner's timeline. And again, this may sound really bad right now, but it's really important to understand if you want to repair the relationship moving forward. So then what happens is that when your partner says, I want to break up, this relationship isn't working, I've seen enough evidence, then people have a choice. A lot of people will go into a panic response mode. They'll beg, they'll plead, they'll get needy. What this does is that this kind of reaffirms what your partner is thinking. Well, they don't realize what has been happening. So I definitely feel confident in my decision because they don't even see that this is the result of 6 to 12 months of events that have been happening. So that's what most people do. And again, if you do this, it doesn't mean that it's not repairable. It's just important to know. What usually, eventually people end up on is realizing that they have to put in some real work, some deep work. And this is the difference between a Band-Aid fix versus actual transformation. So the Band-Aid is the panic and the begging and the pleading and all that sort of stuff. But the real deep work, the work that is actually going to heal a relationship, is much longer and much deeper. So panic mode is often people withdrawing or faking some power moves, attacking, or going to the opposite end of the spectrum of begging, pleading, over-promising. Eventually, for a lot of people, hopefully this is maybe yourself, you do some maybe more research, you come across YouTube videos or books, and you realize that deep work is the only thing that's going to have the impact on a relationship. Identifying the damaged emotional safety, the damaged intellectual intimacy, and the damaged goal synergy. That is usually the lucidity moment that a lot of people have. I've actually done a deeper dive on that, which I'll link to on the screen in the description down below. But usually that lucidity moment is the realization that things could have been different up to this point. And then you have the choice of saying, how do I rebuild this moving forward? And that is the long-term sort of plan. So usually at this point, this is maybe 3 months after the breakup of doing all the ineffective things to this realization point. So bearing in mind the lag right now, your partner is still seeing you as the person from 6 to 12 months ago, because they've got a lot of evidence. Even the evidence in the last 3 months of begging, pleading, etc., kind of reinforces that view of you right now. So then once you start to change and you start to put in the deep work and you realize that things can be done differently and there are skills and tools to build in order to cultivate a much stronger relationship, and you've started to make changes for a few months, by this point, they're only just feeling the version of you that got needy, that begged, that pleaded. They're still only just processing that version of you. So there's still this lag there. Now, this is usually the point when a lot of people can just give up. And this is one of the biggest shames that I see, is people realizing they need to make a change, getting into this place of making those changes and getting into a good stead, but then feeling from their partner that their partner is not seeing who they are now and thinking to themselves, what's the point? They're never going to see who I am. They're never going to feel things are changing. They don't believe me. And then they blame their partner. And this is one of the biggest points that breaks my heart, to be honest, when I see people walking away from the work and from a relationship that is perfectly repairable because they feel that lag. They see the effort that they put in and they're continuing to put in that effort, and their partner feels further away than ever. But this is the most important point that shows whether your new self is part of your identity or if it's simply just a phase that you were trying for a little bit in order to get your partner back. Because the truth is that change is not seen in the moment that it's made. Because of expectancy bias, because of this bias that we all have, your partner is wired to view your current actions through the lens of the last 12 months of your behavior. So you feel like a new you, but your partner is still reacting to the old you. And this creates this friction point where your progress feels completely invisible. So this point is where the lag hits the most for a lot of people. And this is why it feels way worse before it feels better. So oftentimes this can be a partner exploring another relationship, a partner saying, you'll never change. I don't believe you. In fact, I believe you even less now. I think you're manipulating me. But this point is the most crucial point for you and your growth, especially. It's like getting out of debt, if you've ever been in debt. Once you realize that you have gotten into debt and you start to go, I cannot live like this anymore. I'm going to change what I do. And you cut up all the credit cards and you stop living off debt. And you start to do that and get into this kind of sucky phase of, oh man, I wish I could use a credit card right now. I wish I could buy this thing that I would normally buy with a credit card, whatever it is. And you get into this habit where you're like, okay, I'm making changes, but I know it's the right thing. But then you realize that you still have to pay back the debt with interest. That debt doesn't go away. So not only are you having to live differently in terms of your normal life, but you also have that debt that's still needs to be repaid. So when it comes to the relationship, even though you're making the right changes today, the debts of the damaged emotional safety, intellectual intimacy, and goal synergy from 6 to 12 months ago, those debts are only just now kind of defaulting. So you end up in a position where you're simultaneously managing the energy it takes to self-improve and the consequences of your past self. And this is the pivot point that a lot of people, like I said, find the most challenging, but it's also the most crucial point as to whether your changes will be felt. So many people quit at 6 months because they feel like their effort hasn't been rewarded by their partner's perception. But the truth is, the 6-month mark is not the finish line. This is the starting line for when your partner's expectancy bias begins to crack. So from this point on, and again, I want to be clear that this only applies if you've actually been changing. If you haven't been changing, disregard all of this and go to one of my other videos about the changes that you need to make in order to start to undo this expectancy bias. But the 6 months point is the point when things actually start to change, and success in repairing the relationship requires outlasting this lag. So this is where you have to be willing to be the new you. Like, this actually needs to be your identity longer than they can believe in the old you. So there has to be a buildup of evidence that your changes are true and real and deep, and that you are the person that is able to rebuild the 3 core elements of relationships. And if when I talk about the 3 core elements, if that feels like it's going over your head, I dive a lot deeper into it in my relationship bootcamp, which is where all of my members start. We break everything down in that bootcamp so you can start to identify which of the 3 core elements have been damaged and how you can start to repair them. It's free, so if you do want to join us, I'll leave a link in the description if you want to grab your spot. So this 6 months mark is one of the most important things to continue to make these changes in your identity, how you show up. This will show whether this is your identity or whether this was just something that you did temporarily in order to try to win your partner back. Now, like I said, it's really important to understand what changes actually have an impact on repairing a relationship. I've actually done a deeper dive video on this, which I'll link to on the screen, but a lot of people dive into this idea of like just going to the gym thinking that getting buff is going to get their ex back. That's not the way it works. So I won't dive into it here, but I'll leave you with that deeper dive video on what changes actually impact relationship repair, and I will see you over there.